Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. Welcome to Tonellerie Billon, a 78-year-old cooperage dedicated to the art of crafting traditional French wine barrels by hand. Ever since it was established in 1947, Billon has forged a solid reputation in the wine industry in France and around the world. According to Vincent Damy, the director of Billon Cooperage, the specifications of its barrel production process helped Billon stand out in the world.
Alors, toutes les tonnelleries ont leurs petits secrets, leurs petites spécificités, mais globalement, tout le monde procède à peu près de la même façon. Après, où ça se joue, c'est sur les... On a tous nos petites choses un peu particulières sur le choix des bois, sur le temps de séchage, sur la chauffe. La chauffe est très importante, donc c'est là... C'est un peu comme un chef cuistot, enfin, il y en a plein qui sont bons, mais ils ont tous leur spécialité. Donc, après, au viticulteur de choisir le ou les tonneliers avec qui il va travailler selon un petit peu leurs différences.
The foremost task in the production of barrels is to select high-quality wood. Therefore, Billon selects its wood by working closely with the stave mills. The company receives fresh wood from 15 wood suppliers across France. The wood comprises 95% oak and 5% French acacia. Each piece of wood adds a different taste to the wine and spreads various aromas. According to Vincent, it is important to ensure that the wood is processed enough and is ready to be used to create barrels.
Alors les fûts sont faits en chêne français, en très très grande partie en chêne français. Donc le bois est stocké à l'extérieur, au soleil, à la pluie, à la neige, pendant une durée de 2 à 3 ans.
The production of wine barrels is initiated by creating wooden staves. The raw wood pieces are placed one after another in a machine, which converts them into clear, yellowish-brown wooden staves. These staves are then brought into the workshop to produce wine barrels. In the workshop, the wooden staves are bound together by hoops using the tight cooperage method to create a robust, rollable container. This is fixed by application of metal rings and application of high levels of steam. The metal rings allow the staves to stay in place as a high level of steam is applied to bend them according to the shape required. The stack of staves now begins to form the shape of a barrel. A machine called the hoop press is employed to tighten hoops on the barrel. This machine has multiple arms, which roll over the barrel while adjusting the metal hoops, making sure they are tightly wrapped around the barrel. Now the barrel is ready for the heating process. During this procedure, the interior of the barrel is heated. This caramelizes the wood sugars, which dramatically impact the flavor of whatever liquid would be later stored inside the barrel. It's finally time to make the lids of the barrel. For this, the workers join small staves together using the tongue and groove method, rather than using glue or nails. The resulting structure is then compressed under a hydraulic machine to further strengthen the joints. Finally, the structure is carved into a perfect circular-shaped lid. The workers then attach the lids onto the barrel to ensure they fit perfectly. Another process worth noting is shaving the barrel and its ends. Right after putting the lid onto the barrel, the workers use hand tools to shave the barrels, which reduces roughness on its surface and provides a shiny look. To further improve its appearance, the temporary rings on the barrel are replaced with more aesthetically pleasing ones, typically made of stainless or galvanized steel. The barrel is then moved into the inspection area, where workers check out for leaks. The barrel is filled with water and pressurized with air. If there is any escape pathways for the water through the wood grain or the stave joints, the air pressurizes the water out of the barrel and creates a leak. The leak is then sealed off by the workers to increase the durability of the barrel. Once the barrels receive the seal of approval, they are sanded and polished with a brush, and in some cases, branded using a laser engraving machine. Many coopers take great pride in their barrels, and thus it is imperative that customers know precisely where they came from. Finally, the barrels are sealed, wrapped, and stored so that they can be shipped off to the winery or distillery. These barrels must be stored in a cool, dry place, both before and after filling wine in them. Such barrels, typically made of oak, are used primarily for aging and maturing different types of liquids, such as the Jabuticaba wine, produced at the Vinicola Jabuticaba farm in Brazil. This farm is one of the largest Jabuticaba producers in the world, with over 42,000 trees. The current owner of this farm is Paulo Antonio Silva, who inherited it from his parents. Making wine from Jabuticaba is a long, time-taking process, which begins by carefully hand-picking ripe Jabuticaba fruits. Skilled hands choose only the very best, fully ripe fruits from the trees in the green orchard. While a few are packed into boxes to be sold, a large batch is processed in the farm's winery. Inside the winery, the workers use a crusher, specifically designed to break the skin of the fruit and release a juice known as must, which contains essential sugars and flavors for winemaking. Jabuticaba juice then undergoes fermentation, typically with natural yeast on the fruit's skin. This converts sugar into alcohol, transforming the juice into wine. The wine is then filtered to remove any solids or sediments and achieve a smoother texture. Finally, the wine is preserved in oak barrels for aging, or a different barrel to add a specific aroma. Jabuticaba is specifically originated in the Atlantic forest due to the region's warm, humid, tropical and subtropical climate, and rich, well-drained soils that provide optimal conditions for its growth. According to Paulo, Jabuticaba is only found in the native forests of Brazil.
Hoje a fazenda é uma das maiores produtoras de jabuticaba do Brasil e do mundo, né? Jabuticaba só existe no Brasil, em outros países já levaram do Brasil, né?
The name Jabuticaba originated from two words, jabuti meaning tortoise, and caba meaning place. Thus, it means the place where one finds tortoises. This designation comes from the presence of these animals near Jabuticaba trees, as they used to feed on the fruits that fell to the ground.
O verdadeiro nome de jabuticaba é alticalca, o fruto que alimenta o jabuti em tupi-guarani. Então o jabuticaba vem do bicho, jabuti, daquela tartarugona mesmo, né? Então ela caía no chão, na mata, o jabuti vinha e acabava com ela. Então por isso esse nome, jabuticaba, né?
In 1947, after World War II, Paulo's father, Antonio Batista da Silva, planted the first Jabuticaba trees on what would become the Jabuticaba farm. Eventually, after industrialization began and activities of Jabuticaba winery started, the farm became one of the largest Jabuticaba producers, and the only one to use Jabuticaba and transform it into various edible products such as juices, wines, and more. Thousands of miles from Brazil, a similar process of hand-picking tea leaves is carried out in Vietnam by the Gia Dat Viet Company. Oolong tea finds its ideal habitat in mountainous environments, where morning mists and mineral-rich soils provide optimal growing conditions. In the vast fields of Oolong, several women workers, while carrying a bucket on their back, hand-pick tea leaves and fill their buckets. The tea leaves are then weighed on the field, put in large bags, and loaded onto a truck to be brought back to the factory for processing. After reaching the factory, the tea leaves are processed in multiple phases, and each phase is directed by a tea master. The first step is called solar withering. Workers bring the leaves into a glass-roofed building and spread them out. This kickstarts the oxidation fermentation process. As the chlorophyll enzymes inside the wilting leaves start breaking down, the moisture inside begins evaporating. A similar procedure is then conducted outside, and the tea leaves are exposed to sunlight. The workers then gather the leaves and spread them on bamboo trays for 6 to 8 hours and gently stir every 2 hours so they can oxidize further. It is now time for the next phase. The leaves go into a rotating drum. As they tumble, they bruise and tear. This way, the cell structures of the tea leaves break down, enabling oxygen to penetrate deep inside. gently accelerating fermentation. This also releases leaf juices, which help dry out the taste of the tea. When the tea master determines the leaves have sufficiently oxidized, the workers stop the oxidation process by tumbling the leaves in a gas-heated dryer. The tea leaves are then bagged inside a cloth, which is then put inside a hydraulic press and fully compressed. This removes any moisture left on the tea leaves. The next phase determines the tea's taste, aroma, and color. In this phase, the tea leaves turn into tiny pellets. They are bagged in a cotton cloth and placed in a kneading machine, which continuously rolls the bag, twisting the leaves inside into tiny pellets. Forming these pellet shapes intensifies the flavor of the tea. The final step is to transfer the tea to an oven in which it undergoes multiple drying cycles. This dries the damp tea, reducing the moisture content to less than 5%. The fully processed oolong tea is packed in transparent bags and shipped off. Apart from hand-picking tea leaves from the field, one can harvest them using a harvester machine. A similar practice is conducted by Wilson, who is a tea harvester in India. He rises early in the morning and inspects his tea harvester machine thoroughly. He checks the fuel levels that power its engine, inspects its blade, and checks for any malfunctions before leaving. This machine is quite heavy and has a very sharp blade. Therefore, Wilson cautions that one must always be careful while handling it. After gathering all the necessary tools such as sickles, baskets, and weighing scales, Wilson departs from his home. He then rides on a tuk-tuk, which navigates through the village and countryside till it reaches the tea plantation. Upon reaching the site, Wilson meets with his friend, who helps him harvest the tea leaves. The machine requires a two-man operation. The pulping mechanism comprises rotating blades that effectively pluck the tender tea leaves from the stems. Its blades are designed to minimize damage to the stems and promote healthy growth. On the other hand, the blower collects the harvested tea leaves and directs them into a collecting bag, held by the helper moving behind Wilson. A fan attached to the machine blows the leaves into the bag, and thus the leaves are collected in the bag. Wilson periodically adjusts the harvesting path to ensure all areas of the tea plantation are evenly harvested. On average, a tea leaf harvester machine can collect between 1,102 and 2,204 pounds of tea leaves per hour. Once the bags are filled, they are lifted and transported to a designated area within the tea plantation, where the leaves are piled up. The company's agency sends a vehicle to the nearest road, where they load the harvest and transport it to the factory. The workers quickly load the bags onto the truck and transport them to the facility, where the tea leaves are processed to maintain quality and prevent deterioration. Upon arrival at the processing plant, the bags of harvested tea leaves are transferred to a large sorting area. At this point, all the impurities are removed, and tea leaves are classified according to size, color, and appearance. The tea leaves are then withered, which allows the leaves to lose moisture and soften. Grinding tea leaves break down the leaf cells, releasing more essential oils and flavor compounds. The next phase is to dry these tea leaves to remove excess moisture and stabilize the leaves, preserving their flavor and aroma. Further grading is done using a grading machine equipped with a series of screens of varying mesh sizes. The final product is packaged in airtight tins or pouches made from food-grade materials like metal, foil, or paper with plastic lining. These diverse agricultural processes showcase the blend of expertise, tradition, and innovation, transforming raw materials into exceptional products. From the craftsmanship of wine barrels to the artistry of specialty teas. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.